Simply Stogies coverage of the 2024 PCA Trade Show is sponsored by My Old Kentucky Herf, May 11th. Call Fat Ass Cigar Lounge at 606-254-0484 to get your tickets.
Welcome, here we are again at PCA 2024. I'm in the Freud Cigar Company booth, and I'm with, if you don't know, if you don't follow basketball, this is John Salley. John is an icon.
Thank you very much.
Listen, I'm happy because I'm a cigar guy and I love playing basketball. You know, it's a thing.
I got paid to do it, and I love smoking
And you know
cigars.
What's great is I get paid to do cigars, and that's my other passion. I love it, and I love doing what I do. So I always said, if you can make money I have so much respect for professional athletes because not that you guys don't work hard and how elite you are, but you work at your game, but you love it, right?
Yes, I loved playing basketball, and I used to say to everybody, "Thank you. You got to be crazy." My father used to tell me, you got to learn how to fix this car. You're gonna have to fix the car one day.
Right.
And I said, "Pop, I'm never gonna fix the car." I said, "These fingers are for basketball."
Right.
And that's my mentality. But I focused on it, and I said, they're gonna pay me to do what I love to do. That's why I smiled all the time. Everybody used to ask me, "Why are you always laughing? You don't take it serious." I go, "I'm the happiest guy in the world because I'm living my dream."
Couldn't said it better, man.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that plays that doesn't love it,
Yeah, you can tell.
You can tell, and that's what I was going to say about this business. Pretty much everybody. There's, you could tell the posers and the fakers, but most people in this business, they love what they do.
Yeah.
And they love the fact that they can make money loving what they do.
Yeah.
Let's talk about cigars.
Right.
All right. So tell me your background. When you have your first cigar?
1992.
It's the same time.
Yeah, 1992.
Oh, wow.
I had lost in 91 to Chicago Bulls in championship. My guy, Gary Footlet, longtime friend, since my first year in the league. We wind up opening up Cigari in the suburbs of Chicago in 1995. 1996, I win the championship, and all the cigars Michael, Scotty, Dennis is smoking is from my cigar shop.
Right.
And then in 97, I opened up in the National Hotel with my best friend Carl Collins and my brother-in-law PJ Jenkins. So I had been involved. And then, Marvin Shankin, he got involved. He knew who I was. Did an article on me in 98. But I wasn't letting people know because I had just gotten into the health and wellness and the veganism.
Yeah, so you're keeping on the
It's keeping
down
it
low.
But then I met Padron Cigars, and I started smoking Padron cigars for the past 24 years. And I was hooked. I was hooked. So I then get here, and these guys are talking about, hey,
How did you hook up with the
I hooked up. My friend Cody introduced me to David and George, and then George Gerald. And then they were like, we got this situation. Tell us what you like, what you're into. I said Padron Anniversario, Diplomatico, Maduro, like that. Manny laughed, and I hope you're going to interview Manny.
Yes, I am.
Manny goes, I got something for you. I said, remember, I'm a champion, right? And if I'm going to smoke a cigar,
it's got to be
I'm
good.
going to look like Red Auerbach. I want a cigar that doesn't unravel, that looks like you won.
Right.
And then they handed me this, and I knew who Sigmund Freud was. And I was bad. Everyone said, why you didn't put your name on it? Some people may be Celtic fans. I don't want my name on it. And I smoked it, and I was like, stuck. And then it was limited 35,000 cigars, and I was like, I can't get my cigar. And he was like, no, we got you, but we only make 35. And then we got a couple of others. So I just fell in love with it, and I was like, all right, I'm going to be the face. I want to go out and promote, and I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it because I think it's a really good brand. And it's a trip because they don't pay me. And I usually don't do things without pay.
Right.
I'm a Vegas call girl, so I don't do things without pay. But just to being involved in the company, I said, as the company grow, I'll grow. And that's how I got it.
Well, they're very fortunate to have you because I also have, everybody knows on my show that I have my own factory brand and everything. And I've had a lot of athletes. I'm friends with a lot of athletes. And friendly, but at the end of the day, they're like,
everybody wants to.
It's like, I'm like, listen, and I was starting out, I'm like, you know what? It's funny. Dennis is a good friend of mine. But I didn't want to make it, like Dennis smokes cigars, but I didn't approach him. It's like, everybody wants to get paid. You know what I mean? And I get that. If I'm getting paid, you're getting paid.
Right.
But some people want the stuff up front and this and that. And And there's so many athletes.
That's bad management too.
Even basketball players in the past that have put their name to cigars that maybe sold once.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if it's not a good stick, it'll sell once based on your name, based on your face or whatever. But if it's not good, they're not going to smoke it a second time.
A guy just put me on the phone with one of my ex-teammates, Devin George, one of my favorite rookies when I was.
Devin, yeah.
And I just sent him over. The guy said, "Can I get one?" I gave him one. I said, "But make sure Devin gets these 2 cigars."
Right.
And he said, "Well, I want those 2 cigars." I said, "Well, every cigar I give you is going to be good, but I want Devin to smoke because he's going to remember what I used to say about the taste of the cigar." He goes, "Sal, you got these custom-made suits on. Your teeth are always polished." I said, "Bro, all you let, learn how to oil you let with coconut oil and learn how to smoke a cigar. That I can smoke the cigar and not have a bad heart, not have a throat ache, not have a sore throat rather, not coughing all the time."
So how involved were you in the direction of the blend and everything?
None. The reason is
Right.
because the master took the order and I told him what I liked.
Oh, okay.
And then, Manny was laughed and he goes, "My father's the best." I said, "Yeah." That's why I'm embarrassed to tell you what I like.
Why?
And
Everybody's got their own flavor. You shouldn't be embarrassed.
Well, when you're talking to somebody who's been making cigars almost as long as I've been alive, it's kind of, But
he would understand.
He
because
did.
There's so many different people. Like what you like may be totally different from what somebody else likes. So a good master blender, which I've learned over the years, is you don't just blend what you like.
No.
You blend what people want. And if you're good at finding the right blend for that person, that's the sign of a good blender, in my opinion.
It's why at Agape we have like a whole line of cigars people may like.
Right.
But out of all of them, I like Sigmund. I told him I like the Freud, and I like the Agape second. And I went down. He made another cigar. We call it F It.
What?
F It.
Effin?
F-It. Because I couldn't think of a name.
I got you.
So I couldn't think of a name yet. That's just that's the working title. But when I got to it, I was like, yo, to the point even when at home, my wife would know the smell of my cigar. She was like, "That's a different cigar you got." I go, "Yeah." She goes, "That smells good." And I go, "So the other ones don't?" She goes, "It's your house, so I can't tell you that."
Right.
But that one smells good. And I said, "It tastes good too."
Well, that's important.
Yeah.
It's important, in my opinion, for a cigar, for somebody that doesn't smoke, they go, "Oh, that has a good aroma." And people that smoke, they always, I love smoke.
Yeah.
I only smoke good cigars.
Yeah.
So when people go, "What is that?" Now, if you have a cigar, sometimes it's not so pleasant smelling, and they're still good cigars. But to me, I think having both is the winning combination.
Yeah, I don't eat food that stinks.
There you go. There you
Because
go.
if it stinks outside, it's going to stink coming out or inside. So I'm like you. I have smoked every cigar that has been known as the top. I've been with Cigar Aficionado since, like I said, since '98 when I first met Marvin.
Right.
And every time he said, "This is the top 10, I would smoke those top 10. This is the best of this, the best. I've done that for 20 years.
You and most cigar smokers,
Yeah,
are out there.
we
they go to that
I
top 10
trust
list
Marvin.
and go through. Yeah.
He calls me and goes, "Hey, you piece of whatever, you haven't called me in 2 months. Are you okay?" I'm like, "You older than me, you asking me, am I okay?" He goes, "That should tell you something. Check up on me." I go, I got you, Vaughn. So yeah, I check up on him. Right now, when we went to it, I was like, I'm so happy that we advertised properly. It was important that we had the right money to be in the right place. Like these guys wanted a bigger booth.
Right.
I said, "Bro, it ain't about the booth, it's about the cigar."
That is.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So we're not really worried
And if
about
you notice, some of the bigger brands now downsized.
Yeah, everything is
still
done.
and they're still doing the same amount of business. And it goes to show you that, it's great. And some people want to build a shrine to themselves.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's about,
Yeah,
are you making money? Are you getting your message across?
if you have a good cigar, you can sell it with one chair.
That's right. That's right. Well, you do need a little bit of marketing, that's for sure. And it doesn't hurt to have a big name like you behind it.
I appreciate
People
it.
are going to smoke it because John Salley smokes it. That's the reality of it. So
Say
these
it with
guys,
your chest. People are going to smoke it.
No, it's true, man. It's true. And if you get a sincere guy, there's a lot of guys that lend their name, lend their image or whatever, not into it, and you can tell, and they're just flashes in the pan.
Yeah.
But the ones that are real cigar smokers that believe in the product, and that's the key, to believe in the product.
Yeah.
And just from talking to you, I know you like it and that you believe in it.
And I do. And I love, at first, I was going to open a cigar bar in I'm not going to say the name of the company, Tinderbox.
Okay.
And we didn't work out because they didn't let me put my name on it. And at that time, I was playing. And I was I was building my brand
Right.
as I was moving into it. You knew me as basketball, but I wanted people to know this was my cigar bar.
Right.
And because I thought it was better than trying to pick a cigar. Now I picked a cigar so I can be in every cigar bar. It's a different thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
You think down the road you're going to put your name to something?
I like it. I like being behind the scenes and saying this is my, because I remember a guy named Famous Amos lost his name.
Oh, yes. I
And
remember.
after he lost his name, I like my name being mine.
There you go.
Yeah, so I did. Thank you, brother.
Man, thank you for your time. I really
Always,
appreciate it. It was
always.
a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
So we're still here at the Sigmund Freud Cigar Company. We just talked to John Salley, which is a very, very sincere, serious cigar smoker that's become the face of the brand for the Sigmund Freud Company. But now we're talking to the meat and potatoes of the brand. This is Emmanuel Diaz, part of the Tabacalera Diaz Cabrera.
Yes, sir.
In the DR. So he's the get down, get dirty, know about the cigars, because I really would love our listeners and our viewers to really know about the cigars. So tell us, how did you get involved with the folks here at Sigmund Freud? I know your father has been a blender for years and years.
Yes.
And worked with Davidoff and certain others, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about your story, the factory story, and how you guys hooked up and all that.
Well, thank you once again, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to be with you guys. Good smokes. My name is Emmanuel Diaz. I've been smoking cigar for the last 12 years.
Okay.
I used to sell cars before being in the cigar business because I'm a car enthusiast.
Okay.
But at the end, I saw that I have more possibilities. Being in the cigar industry, my father being around smoking cigars, actually I have asthma. So my mom was always, no, don't smoke cigars. But every time my father had visits at the house,
You
they
have
were-
asthma, or your dad had asthma?
I have asthma.
Oh, you have asthma.
So
okay.
and they were smoking cigars. I was there, not smoking at all. But because I was impressed how people get close with just this simple thing, I must say, not to say a cigar.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing how you get people close. It's a really outstanding experience. So after I left the car business, I went to China for a year. So over there I had my first cigar ever
In China.
in China.
May I ask what it was?
It was a David of 2000.
Ah, okay.
But it was funny the way it happens because I received a customer at the cigar shop and he say, hey Manny, what do you suggest me to smoke? So I say, you should smoke the Cohiba 06. If a note of woodiness, creaminess, blah, blah, blah. And the guy asked me, oh, have you smoked? No, I don't smoke cigars. And he's like, so what are you selling?
Right.
What are you talking about?
I sell cars.
Exactly. So that was when I had my first cigar. Then I came back to the Dominican Republic. I have the opportunity to work at La Aurora with Guillermo Leon team and Manuel Noah as well. Then after that, I spent 6 years working with Pipi Carrillo, Ernesto Perez Carrillo,
yeah.
Handled the international sales for them. I remember when I joined the company in 2017, they were at 7 countries. By the time I left, they were totally at 57 countries.
And when did you leave?
I left in 2022.
Okay.
And I still have a really good relation with them. They're like family for me. And then my father decided to build a legacy to leave to his children, in alive, of course.
Right.
And that's when we decided to start with the company. I might say that the one who had the idea to open the cigar factory was actually my mom, who always tell my father, you need to have something for your kids. You need to find a way, not about just heritage money, no,
Right.
knowledge.
Knowledge.
Connect with people. So that's thanks to her, my dad say, okay, if we're gonna make a factory, we're gonna call it Tabacalera Diaz Cabrera. Diaz, my father's last name,
Right.
Cabrera, my mom's last name.
Which
So
happens to be your full last name.
yeah,
In the Latin way. Right?
it looks pretty cool, you know. So I have the opportunity to meet David Stacking and George Tafalas, and they talked to us, hey Manny, we're really friends with the great grandson of Sigmund Freud, who we have a good deal, and they decided to let us make the cigar. So they found the company, Freud Cigar Co. The first release they made was the Super Rico, made by Tabacalera William Ventura. William Ventura used to work with my father at Davio for many years. They released first based on all the articles that Sigmund Freud has made in his life. The first one was the Super Rico. That one had 5 different sizes, a box of 10 cigars, and a really outstanding experience and really amazing cigar. Then after that, in 2022 as well, they say, okay, I want to make something really special. I was talking to George and David and say, we want to make something that people feel is an expression of love, the highest expression of love. That's why how they came up with the name Agave.
Which in Greek means love.
Exactly. So,
just so happened to be Greek.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So that was a limited edition of 3,500 boxes of 10 cigars. The cigar is a 54 by 5. It has 7 different tobaccos. The wrapper is a Negro San Andres from Dominican Republic. They say it's from Mexico, but the tobacco was planted in the Dominican Republic.
Mexican seed.
Yeah. So based on the fact that they have 7 different tobaccos, that's why we decided to make the cigar in a 54 size. So you will have a really complex and amazing experience while you're having the cigar. Then we release a regular production, or as we call it in the cigar industry, core line, which we call it Alter Ego, Pelo de Oro. Why Pelo de Oro? As you know, when you smoke a cigar in Negro San Andres, Mexico, at the beginning, before you light up the cigar, you will feel a little bit of spiciness from the cigar. But thanks to that tobacco, Pelo de Oro, which is actually from Peru, it will give you sweetness from the beginning on the smoke. Yeah. So we produce that cigar in 3 different sizes. We have the Robusto 5x50, we have the Toro 52x6, and we have Alonso 43x16.5. And let me tell you something else. Sometimes I like to talk to people and explain to them as much as I can, so I can find a way to educate.
Sure.
Because many times people smoke cigars and they see a cigar with a really dark wrapper, and they say, oh my God,
it's going to be super strong.
It's really strong. The color of the wrapper do not tell you the strength. If you want to know about the strength, you ask the person who's going to give you the cigar, hey, tell me about the strength. It's a soft cigar, mild cigar, strong cigar.
Flavor profile.
Exactly. I remember that one day back in China, I have a customer say, hey Manny, I want to smoke a cigar. Please give me something really, really light. So I told them, listen, you cannot use the word light because light in tobacco means strong.
Right.
And from the tobacco plant, that's the one on the top. Then you have the Viso, which have medium strength, medium combustion, and then you have the Seco. We have a really high combustion and the stuff.
Good aroma.
Exactly.
Right.
And remember, every time you smoke a cigar, if you know, for example, this one, the Sigmund, the one we're smoking right now, it has 45% of ligero, which means that the level of strength of the cigar, from 1 to 10, I might say, is like 8. And every time you have ligero in your cigar, that tobacco must be in the middle. Why? Because if you're smoking a cigar and you know that you light up pretty well the cigar, but all of a sudden it's burning one side and the other side is not burning, then you say, wow, but I light up pretty well, what happened? It's the fact that the ligero is not in the middle. So you have always to make sure that that tobacco ligero is in the middle, so you have a really good experience. Besides that, Freud Cigar decided to make another line called Carlos and Maria. Are you familiar with the comment about the novel Romeo and Juliet?
Yes.
So this will be the Latin Romeo and Juliet, Carlos and Maria.
Okay.
So we are just releasing today at the PCA a cigar called Carlos and Maria, limited edition of 500 bucks of 10 cigars. It's a 6x60, and they decided to call it Orgas.
Which one?
Orgas.
Orgas?
Yeah, Orgasmo.
Oh, okay, I got you.
The reason they choose that name because when Sigmund smoked a cigar, he used to say, sometimes I'm so excited smoking my cigar that I feel
I got you.
Yeah, I don't want to repeat it again.
No worries. Okay, I know what you're saying.
So besides that, we have also the Carlos and Maria in our regular line with 4 different sizes. We have the Robusto, we have the Toro, and we have also Alonso, and we have a Belicoso as well. So to talk to you a little bit about the Sigmund, the taste profile on the cigar is really interesting based on the fact that the wrapper is a Corojo 2016 from that crop. The binder is a Sumatra, but from Dominican Republic, and 5 different
Sumatra
fillers.
seed.
Exactly.
Right.
And 5 different fillers. So that became the cigar a puro. When you have all the elements, all the tobacco from one
country.
specific country,
It's a puro.
Is a puro.
Right.
I'm not saying that a cigar or a puro is one better than the other one. It's just the fact that it's really interesting that when you have the opportunity, especially in Dominican Republic, to make a cigar that will have all of these elements.
Yeah, the diversity
Exactly.
of one puro that has enough of the different elements that gives you the complexity that you need. Yes.
Exactly. So a few months ago, Freud has the opportunity to talk to John Salley, and John Salley was explaining. I was impressed the way he explained about what he was looking for, because usually when you have a customer that doesn't know what he's talking about,
Right.
he will tell you, "Hey, give me a cigar that he's really like." No, he used the right words. Manny, I want a cigar that will have this taste profile, this flavor profile, this term of strength on my cigar, this character on my cigar. I was really impressed. So I
That he
told
knew
him
what he was looking for.
exactly.
Which is the most important thing as a blender. If you know what the customer looks for, you can tailor it. If they go, I want it to be kind of like this or kind of like that, it's harder for you to do what you got to do.
So at the end, I remember we sent the cigars to him, a few boxes. He was smoking, and he's like, "This is my cigar. This is my Freud." So since then, he is smoking.
When was
every
that?
single
How long
day.
has he been involved with it again?
Like 2 months, I might say.
Okay. Awesome.
But we have a relation with him before he started making business with us. But it's been a really good experience, and he really wanted to come to the show and live this amazing opportunity.
Yeah,
And
that's
as I say, we always say a sentence like, "What is the best cigar?" Freud
one-
Cigar.
Wow.
What is the worst cigar?
Anything
the
else?
One, no, the one with no drop.
Well, that's true. That's
It's
true.
really comfortable when you're smoking and you're like, "What's happening?"
Right. Well, construction is everything. If you don't have it, you could have the best blend in the world, but if you can't draw it, how do you know whether it's
Exactly.
good or not?
We also say cigarette is an addiction. Cigars is your own passion.
That's right.
And if you want to go a little bit deeper, cigarette is like kissing. Cigars is like making love.
Well, I guess I don't like the kiss then because I've never smoked a cigarette and never really wanted to. But I do smoke a lot of cigars and I do have a passion for this business. And I appreciate your time, Manny. It was a pleasure to meet you.
My pleasure to
You're
meet you
a
too.
very fascinating guy.
Thank you
and
so
I can
much.
tell you're sincere and that you love this business.
Yes.
And like I told John Salley, they're very fortunate to get him involved because, if you have a person that's into what he does and puts his name to it, it's fantastic. And you
That's
can tell
true.
he's got a passion, and you do too. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so
in
much.
the future in your own endeavors with the Sigmund Freud Company, and best of luck and have a great show.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
It
so
was
much.
a pleasure,
again.
my brother.
Pleasure. Thank you.